Hey there, gang. Time for another comic book unboxing video. And what do you suppose is in that short box of comic books right there? I have no idea, but I am glad that you are here. Now we will find out together. We'll crack this bad boy open and dig those books on out and see what we've got. So, if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghalla. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. And I am glad you're here. A couple of quick bits of house cleaning before we get to the comic books. First off, please do like, share, subscribe, comment. Do, as we say, all the groovy things. Got to get that bag out of the way. Secondly, the Halloween mystery boxes that we've been promoting, those are going fast. There's only about 30 or so left out of that 100-box series. So if you want one, time to act. They're going to run out soon. It's only been a week, and they are about 3/4 gone. So link is in the description and also in the first comment, the first pinned comment below. And then also, you might remember the giveaway that I did when I hit 500 subscribers. There were 2 Bronze Age mystery boxes, not a Halloween box, but a Bronze Age box. One went to Chris at North Garden Comics, and I recommend that you subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's a good guy. You'll be glad that you subscribed. The other one, though, I've been having trouble reaching both the winner, the name that was drawn, and the first alternate. I've tried every means that I can think of. Both are fairly inactive YouTube channels with no contact information, but I've mentioned their names on videos here. I have tried to reach out by leaving comments on the discussion part of their page. I have responded to the comments that they left here, hoping that would send them a notification. And now it's been several weeks, and so we're moving on to the second alternate. So Jilly Jill, you are out of the dugout, off the on-deck circle, and now up to bat. I hope I got that metaphor right. I'm not a big sports ball guy. But anyway, Jilly Jill, please do reach out. My contact information is in the description, and once we get an address, we will send that box out to you. And if for some reason I am not able to hook horns with Jilly Jill either, well then, I guess we'll just roll over that second box to the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, which, I don't know, the algorithm seems to have taken hold finally. We have hit a kind of exponential rise. We've gained 100 subscribers in the last, I don't know, week and a half. So, looking good. And what's also looking good is these comic books. So let's go ahead and get right to it, not waste any more time. And I think this is going to be, just based on this top book and looking at the edges of the books in the box, I think this is going to be another mostly Bronze Age, mostly Marvel and DC box. We're kind of dependent on the collections we get in, and that seems to be a lot of what we've been opening here lately. So here's some Giant Size Man-Thing, and I love the Giant Size series, although it does predate me a little bit. These were mostly 74, 75, and it was kind of 76 or so when I started finally really buying comic books on my own. And so these all kind of just predate me a little bit, but they are very cool. Giant Size Master of Kung Fu number 3. Here's some Silver Age. That is the Maestro in JLA number 16. And if I recall this story, it's all a story told by Snapper Carr or something. So none of this ever actually happened, if I remember correctly. I might be misremembering that. If you know better, leave a comment down below. Here is Justice League of America 26. Here's a classic Mystery in Space cover, number 82 with Adam Strange. Adam Strange never quite took off, more so than Space Ranger. Adam Strange and Space Ranger were both the result of a bet between editors Julius Schwartz and, I want to say, Jack Schiff, over who could come up with a better selling science fiction character. So Julie did Adam Strange, and then Jack Schiff did Space Ranger. And I think Adam Strange did better mostly because he was set in the current time. It could cross over with the Justice League and things like that, whereas Space Ranger was set in the far future. Here's an early Green Lantern, number 17. Number 21. Kind of a static cover. That almost looks like a Gold Key cover or an Archie Heroes cover or something like that. Kind of static. This one's a little more dynamic, number 22. Here is Green Lantern number 24. I was never as into Green Lantern as a kid as I was the Flash. How about you? Which of those two do you prefer, if either one? Star Sapphire, very nice. And this is Gil Kane art, and I was reading, where is it? I'm kind of rereading this book. I read it when it first came out in 2004, and I noticed I had lost my copy, so I bought another one, so I'm rereading it. And that's Men of Tomorrow, Geeks, Gangsters, and the Birth of the Comic Book. And I just last night read kind of an anecdote in there that I had forgotten, which happens. I've forgotten more than I'll ever know, or more than I ever knew, I should say. Gil Kane started out as a young artist, a teenager at what was then MLJ Comics, which today is Archie Comics, working on Pep. Pep Comics was the title. And so back then they had actual bullpens, you know, these big rooms with lots of drawing boards. And apparently the other artists, they put a ring of rubber cement around his drawing table, threw a match at it, so it lit on fire. So he suddenly found himself surrounded by a ring of fire. And so he went nuts, complained quite vociferously, and was actually fired as a result for making too much noise. So it's just funny. Apparently he found work somewhere else and then was rehired to work on Pep again. So no long-term harm done, but it's just kind of funny. The hijinks that artists get into when they're cooped up all day at drawing boards. They gotta let that energy out somewhere. So here's some more Silver Age Green Lantern goodness. And these are kind of old bags. They're all stuck together. You may hear them kind of peeling apart here. That one looks like a fun cover. This is a classic cover right here. This when DC did probably 10 or 12 years ago now, they did a skip week event, which, you know, when you have a fifth week, I don't know if they still do it to any great extent, but it used to be there would be some kind of an event to fill that fifth week, you know, a month with 5 weeks. And so you've got that fifth week that doesn't really have much scheduled for it. So they used to schedule events for those fifth weeks. And I don't know, like I said, it was about 10 or 12 years ago that DC did a thing where they did new stories based on these old covers, and they included a recreation of the cover by a new artist, a kind of an homage, and this is one of the ones that they did. Here is the unfortunately colored, well, I still call him Pie Face, which we shouldn't do, because I forget his actual name. It's like Tom Kalikamuko or something like that. He is, I guess Inuit. I guess you're not supposed to say Eskimo either anymore, but it's unfortunate that he's colored kind of orange, not even like yellow as you might expect. You know, back in the Yellow Menace days, that's how they colored Asians, but he was always colored kind of orangey. So he looks like a Durlin, a shape-shifting Durlin. Here's Dr. Light, back when he was considered an actual menace and not a joke. Sonar, who was kind of always a joke, frankly. Here's some Sinestro action. Very nice. Number 15. Ooh, still 10 cents. What number is this? Number 5. Green Lantern number 5. Oh, I see. I almost said, why didn't this go to CGC? But I can see there's a big chunk of the corner of the cover missing here. Huh. Well, that was kind of cool, wasn't it? And it looks like this next stack, we have got some more Green Lanterns. Here's number 4. Wow. Kind of lower grade. You can see some spine splitting here. Here's number 3. Neat. Of course, the tanks are yellow. They would have to be. Is this number 2? That is, no, yes, Green Lantern number 2. First appearance of the warlords of, what was it, Quard? And you can see you got a little bit of you got a 2-inch spine split right here in the middle, but still, and some edge chipping. So it's not high grade, but it is a chance to get the Green Lantern number 2. Thought we were going to get number 1, but this is number I can't see the number. 12, I think. Number 10. Here's kind of a painted cover, or not really a painted cover, but this was something that DC was doing at this time, mostly on the war books, but these gray wash tone covers. So that's pretty cool. And that is, again, I'm having trouble seeing the numbers. My light is a little low here to try and keep the glare down. That looks like number 8. Detective Comics, 448. Nice. Oops, what's this? I bet that's Flash Annual. No, it's 80-Page Giant, number 4. So again, 80-Page Giant was a series that went about 15 issues, and then they transferred the format over to the regular titles. But those were all reprint stories. Another one that's back-asswards. Flash number 143 with a Green Lantern crossover. Amazing Spider-Man 99, Panic in Prison. 98, the part of the famous 3-part drug story that the government had asked Stan Lee to do, you know, promoting the horrors of drug use. But when he went ahead and did it, it got rejected by the Comics Code Authority. So they went ahead and published it without the CCA seal, and that kind of led to a softening within a year or so of the CCA guidelines. Here's 96, that's the first part. So we've got the first and third parts, but I guess not the second. Here's Prowler and the Beetle. Crossover with Iceman when Iceman attacks, number 92. Here's kind of the trope of the hero walking away all dejected and forlorn, although usually he's walking away from the reader, not towards the reader, but we still have the reflection in the window, so we get the same effect. Here's some Vulture action, number 64. Kraven the Hunter, 111. 175 with Punisher and Marvel's Hitman. 174, the first part of that story, back when you could get a full story in no more than 2 issues. 163 with Kingpin. 155. Here's Tarantula. There you go. What do you think of that? And here is some more Spider-Man. Spider-Man always does very well. 146, 145. So there's some Scorpion action. 142, classic Mysterio cover. 141, there's kind of everybody joining in. 136, it's a nice classic Spidey Green Goblin cover. Aunt May's getting married in 131. Molten Man's going mad in 132. Here's the Spider-Mobile. Hammerhead versus the Spider-Mobile. And if I ever got a Doom buggy, I would totally paint it to look like the Spider-Mobile. Here's a Hulk crossover by John Byrne in annual number 12. Annual number 3 with the Avengers. All new. Rocket Racer number 183. Some more Green Goblins. You had different Green Goblins at this time. Pete graduates from college. That's funny. It took him like 10 years to graduate from high school and then college. And then he's been perpetually about, I don't know, 26 ever since. It's 184. Batman. What number is this? 228. Here's a Batman Giant for you. Here's a Giant Batman Annual, number 7. Another Batman Annual, number 5. It's a huge, huge friggin' bag. This one's a little beat up, but this is, yeah, a great big rip down the center of the back cover. But oh no, they're turned into 2-dimensional people against this rainbow creature. Wow. Batman 134. Another Batman Annual, number 3. And I think we're going to go through this whole box here in this video. We're making good time. Captain America Annual number 1. I believe that's a reprint of some classic stories. There's the first appearance of Steve Rogers as Nomad when he gave up the Captain America identity briefly. Became Nomad, the man without a country. 132, some fake Bucky action. Daredevil number 54. And you notice on the gravestone they didn't put the birth date because they didn't want to lock down exactly how old he was. But he died in 1969. Here's some more Silver Age Batman. Some Rhino versus Batmobile. Nice, an early issue of the Atom, number 9. And an early issue of the Flash, number 136. Daredevil 79. That's kind of a dramatic cover here with the Man-Bull. Ooh, uh-oh. This was most likely a return. So the dealer, the retailer, would have ripped the top part of the cover off, returned that to the distributor for credit, and then was supposed to destroy this book. But either they didn't. They gave it away to somebody. More likely they sold it. They or the distributor might have, again, sold it wholesale in bulk. When I was a kid growing up in Winslow, Maine, there was a, whoops, not an earthquake, just banged into the tripod. When I was a kid growing up in Winslow, Maine, there was a store. I can't remember the name of the store, but it sold these remaindered books. It had a box, on the counter up by the cash register. I remember it was just like a cardboard box. It might even have been like a beer carton or something. But it had a whole stack of these types of comic books with the top third of the cover missing, and they sold them for like, I don't know, 10 cents or 15 cents. I mean, at that time, comic books were like 25 cents, 30 cents. Here is some Todd McFarlane action on Spider-Man. That does well. Black Panther, number 6. First appearance of Cable in 201. Here's some early Captain America and the Falcon again. Actually, I should say late Captain America and the Falcon. That team-up only lasted into the, I don't know, issue 220 or something like that. Here's 208. It's during a period when Jack Kirby was back on the title. Here's issue 200. It's a popular issue of Marvel Team-Up, annual number 1 with the new X-Men. The Incredible Hulk and Wolverine. This is actually a reprint of the first appearance of Wolverine in Incredible Hulk 181. And I think it might include some other stuff as well. Yeah, there's some other stuff in there besides that story. But anyway, that's what that is. And it does pretty well. I mean, when you consider the Hulk 181 is a $5,000 or $6,000 book, if somebody just wants to read the story, that does pretty well. Here's Batman Year 1, Part 2. Year 1, Part 1. Looks like that's all we've got there. New X-Men 134. I don't know. We got some new X-Men's that got sorted into a singles box recently for me to grade, and they only went for like $2 or $3. So I'm going to look this up and see if it's any kind of a key. And if it's not, if that looks like it's going to be a $2 or $3 or $4 book, and I don't know right off the top of my head, I am less in tune with the newer books, although even this one's about 15 years old. I might pull this out for put it in multi-book lots or something. Here is Giant Size Fantastic Four, number 4. There's a gold cover, gold foil, Amazing Spider-Man 375. Here's some Carnage action. Is that the first one? I always forget with Carnage. It's like it's like a 3-issue arc here, and I forget which one is the first one. Spider-Man 2099. Most of the 2099 line is like dollar books, but this one books for like $20. Doesn't do quite that on eBay, but that should still be a good solid, $15 book. Avengers 257, first appearance of Nebula, so that does well. Here's something else that does quite well, and that is Captain America Annual number 8 with a nice Mike Zeck cover featuring Wolverine. X-Men number 4, first appearance of Red Omega. Now, we also had some Marc Spector Moon Knights that we posted as singles recently, and those didn't do real well either. I mean, a little better, $4 or $5, $6, but we always try and get at least 10 for everything that we sell on eBay. So I might stick these in multi-book lots. Same with this Midnight Sun stuff. I would call that a dollar book, unless there's something going on with the market that I'm unaware of. Now here's a book that does well, the Punisher miniseries, number 2, in a 5-issue series. Number 3, it's suddenly a 4-issue series. 4 is still a 4-issue series, and you think you're done, but, oh, we don't have it. But there is a 5 that says 5-issue series. First appearance of Mr. Sinister in Uncanny X-Men 221. There is the number 1 of that limited series, and that does real well, although this one's lower grade. We get quite a few issues going on here at the bottom. And you got a paper shear here. I don't know why this one's big. I'll have to look that one up. Is it because of Cardiac? This one, I think, is the first Venom cover, maybe? And it's a McFarlane cover, so it does well. Here's another McFarlane. This one's back in the Larson era, and I don't know if that's a $10 book. I don't know. $2.98, though, that certainly is. That's the beginning of the McFarlane era. Vengeance of Bane, first appearance of Bane. We've seen a lot of this issue lately for some reason. Here is what appears to be a first print. The second print is a black cover. And this is the Incredible Hulk 377, the first appearance of the so-called Professor Hulk version, the Smart Hulk. But the first print is green. The second print is black. And then there's a third print that has like a different shade of green. So you got to be careful. That third print is kind of rare. And so people like it for that reason. And you got to be careful and really make sure you've got it, whether it's a first or a third. Punisher War Journal with Wolverine. I don't think that's a $10 book, but we'll see. This one's always a dependable, $15, $20 book. Spawn number 1. And there is another Spawn number 1. And here's an oddity. Oh, wow. And I say, oh, wow, because I would not expect this at all. The Valiant books don't do very well for us. And matter of fact, it wasn't that long ago. It's only about a month or so ago. There was a big box of Valiant books, and I was looking through them. And the owner, one of the co-owners was like, oh, Valiant doesn't sell. It doesn't do anything. That's not even worth putting in a dollar box. And I'm like, I'll take them. And he's like, yeah, you can have all the Valiant you want. Take them. So I did, and I have been. As I run across Valiants, if it's one I don't have, I've just been taking it because he said I could. So I'm really, really surprised that he put some Magnus robot fighters here, number 12, and I'm not aware. There was a time when the Valiant books were kind of hot, especially if they still had the coupons. The early issues had coupons in them that you could send away for, I don't know, whatever. I sort of missed the boat on Valiant myself at the time. But, yeah, number 7. These are like, again, to quote the owner, not even worth putting in the dollar box. But for some reason, somebody thinks we're going to get at least $10 a book here. I question that. Maybe I'll put the first issue up, and I'll hold back on the others. See how the first one does. But I think these need to be in a lot, and probably in a fixed price lot. And you've heard me mention my theory on this as well before, that there are certain books, mostly late 80s and newer, where if you're selling them on eBay, you really want to do it as a fixed price auction. Not auction, but just a fixed price sale. Because if you do it as an auction, there won't be enough people to come along during the 5 days that auction is live to fight over it and jack that price up. That's what you really need. Even when you're only trying to get to $10, you need a couple of people kind of fighting over it, willing to bid more. And so with books like this, where there's not really a lot of demand, you want to put them up as a fixed price. And you can put them up as a fixed price, a lot of 10 or 12 books, and they can be priced at $2 or $3 a book, more than you would get out of the dollar box. And they will eventually sell. We've got fixed price books that are priced that way, and in some cases they're up to 60% off the original cover price, and in some cases they have to sit there for 30, 60, 90 days, but they'll eventually sell, and it's no more labor, no more cost to put it up and let it sit than it is to put it up at an auction. So something like this I would probably do as a fixed price lot as opposed to an auction lot, and I would definitely do multi-books, not Well, there's Solar number 1, so maybe we'll try that one. But I'm really questioning putting these up as singles. Although this one, this is the second print. I don't know how well you can see it. It's a black cover and black on black. It's just kind of raised here a little bit, embossed. There's a Roman numeral 2 right here. So that's the second print of this black cover. I believe that's Solar Man of the Atom number 10. But even that is only like a, according to the guides, like a $12 or $15 book, which means on eBay it's going to be like 6 or 7 at most. But there's not enough demand. It'll probably go for $1.99, maybe $2 or $3. This one does pretty well. That's a $15 or $20 book every time, even not in the poly bag. Here is some McFarlane action on Detective Comics, the Year 2 story. So that should do okay, even with a little spine tick right there. Here is the third part of that, and that's a classic cover. Here's Exo Manowar number 1. And number 4, that's just so random. I can't imagine. I'm going to have to ask the owner why he did this. Because I can't imagine why these are in the singles box. But maybe there's something going on with Valiant books I don't know. I'll have to check. And there is some Carnage action, or no, Venom action. Somebody action. Something's happened to somebody somewhere. 317. And here's another copy of it. And these are newsstand copies. So that should help these, because by this dollar era, the early mid-90s, newsstand sales were about 10% of the total print run. And, the book isn't any different than a regular direct sales book, other than it's got the UPC code, and in some cases the pricing box is a little different. But it's just neat knowing the channels that it went through to get into your collection, that it was sold not in a comic book store, but on the regular newsstands. And generally it had to run a longer and harder gauntlet through, because from the comic book store, that fan would have put it right in a bag and board and it would have stayed mint. Whereas this had to go through some handling, and might have passed through a couple of owners on its way to your collection. But anyway, that's it. That is that box. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed Spock giving the old Vulcan nerve pinch to Superman. What do you think? I'm going to test and see if you watch these full videos. I'm going to ask you to comment down below. Do you think a Vulcan nerve pinch would work on Superman? I mean, he's invulnerable. A bullet can't pierce his skin. Well, depending on the version of Superman, nothing can. But is he still susceptible to pressure? He's got a circulatory system. So could a Vulcan nerve pinch take down Superman? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me in the comments below, and then I will know that you made it all the way to the end of this video. But otherwise, until the next video, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.